Hello, hello. So I wanted to talk about this area since I have access to it via the debug mod for SMT5 and SMT5 Vengeance. And I'm also going to be utilizing the Unreal Engine 4 console tool. Now keep in mind both of these can be very unstable sometimes. The debug tool likes to crash or soft lock or freeze occasionally, and the consoles, I have like two different Unreal Engine console tools to try and utilize, and they also can sometimes crash the game as well. So this is about being patient and trying to get things, basically slamming things against the wall to get them to work, so it requires a lot of patience. So I want to examine this area in particular. You only get to see it briefly in the original version of SMT5 when Aogami is getting maintenance, and Tsukuyomi, or Koshimizu, the Prime Minister and head of Bethel, Japan, is overseeing his maintenance. And in Vengeance, of course, you do revisit this spot when you have to fuse with Tsukuyomi to become the new Nahobino form. Now, we find out a lot more about the ProtoFiends and about this whole system. I forgot the exact name of the system that they use, but it is used to create the ProtoFiends. And it is comprised of Izanagi's power, basically. Izanagi divided his power up into three, which I assume is just became this, I don't remember if they had a specific name for the goop. I know they had a name for the system itself, but they have this stuff that kind of looks like Magatsui. It's like some kind of like liquid. And whenever Aogami units get their maintenance, they do get dipped into this and lowered into it, and I guess it like refreshes them or energizes them. We also have these three, I don't know if you want to call them tubes, but they do represent the three precious children, or the three sacred treasures. It's something that was brought up in a theory video that I made, and lo and behold, yes, that's actually what was going on here. Is they used the three sacred treasures to make the ProtoFiends. Tsukuyomi units, Aogami units, and we find out that there was only one Amaterasu unit. For some reason, they can only one can be created, and of course, because of the events in SMT5 and what transpired, and the fact that a goddess of creation needed to be created, Amaterasu, like the ProtoFiend, or the ability to create her, it is just non-existent. Like, she was just became non-existent because Tao, who is, we found out, is basically the knowledge of Amaterasu, you know, she was made to be the creation goddess to guide the you know, whoever to the throne, I guess a bull god, to the throne, but she was so powerful that she basically pushed Amaterasu out of existence, the demon version, the ProtoFiend version, so they couldn't create any more versions of her. Now, they have these seals here, and I wanted to talk about, now I don't know, you notice the liquid in each of these containers are at different sizes, right? And, whenever we view the scene when Aogami's getting maintenance, we see these things. These things lift up here, and I guess they're extracting juice from these containers and maybe injecting them into this pool. Like all three of these are being, or some portion of it are being injected into the pool. There is information that Aogami is meant to inherit the power of the Amatsukami, so I assume like they can inject stuff from each of these containers into him, or he can utilize it. And we do also find out that ProtoFiends could be reprogrammed. That's actually something that happened in the original game too, because we found out Lucifer reprogrammed Aogami essentially to be able to find his knowledge and become a Nahobino. And then Tsukuyomi, when he has to fuse with you, the protagonist, in order to be compatible with the protagonist, he acquired data from, you know, the Aogami unit that exists, the only one, the Aogami that you were with, and you use that and incorporated that into himself so that he could fuse with you. And you become like not a different kind of Tsukuyomi Nahobino. Like, not like the one he becomes when he fuses with Yuzuru, but a very different one. And I'm going to assume it's not, you know, as compatible as when Tsukuyomi fuses with Yuzuru, but it's very interesting. But at least we know now, like, how they provided a lot of information about the ProtoFiends. Now, like I said, the three second treasures, or Izanagi's power, is divided into 3 and is utilized to make the ProtoFiends. There are these agent seals on the flags that are around the containers. So this one here, I think this just says Imperial Seal, but I believe this is supposed to be associated with the sacred jewel, the gem, tied to Amaterasu. In the story, we find out she has like a little core, or like it's like a gem or a rock or something that is being protected by the Kunitsukami in Dot, and you find out that Orochi steals it away. You have to go get it back, but it's basically the only thing that exists left of Amaterasu, so they're protecting it. I noticed the container by this seal here is very full, and I'm not sure if that's because they cannot utilize it anymore, because they just can't make an Amaterasu. She does not exist anymore, so I don't know if this being full has anything to do with it. You have a monitoring system here. It's very fascinating to be able to view this like this, because you don't get to see it. You only get to see it in like cutscenes, very briefly. The question is too, is we do know that ProtoFiends have existed for a very long time. Keep in mind, ProtoFiends are God-created. They're divine-created demons. So not necessarily created by humans, but humans did get involved in their creation later on. Like, they did research to trying to make humanoid ones. The information is a little bit confusing, though. Also in Japanese, the ProtoFiends are called Shinzo-majin, which just means artificial demons. So, like, they're just... It doesn't necessarily mean they're robots. They could have, you know... Gods could have used any method to create the artificial demons. They didn't have to be robots. They don't have to use technology. I'd imagine they're just, like, homunculuses, basically. They probably could have even used earth. Like, you know, clay or whatever they had around to make them. So that's why it was kind of confusing about the information that they existed for a while. And even like when you come across Kushina Hime, she says, "Oh well, I was." She mentions that she fell in love with the ProtoFiend. It's like, okay, they existed that long ago too. Like they were still around. But then you wonder, okay, how did they have the technology to make the ProtoFiends even back then? But ProtoFiends are just God-made demons, so you know gods can make them. I just, I'm going to assume this particular system here was provided to Bethel, Japan, so that they could mass-produce ProtoFiends, and create the Tsukuyomi units, you know, Amaterasu and the Aogami units. So I'm trying to think here, I don't remember which seal. One of these is Kusanagi and the other one is the mirror. I'm going to assume the one that's almost used up is the one that has the Kusanagi, which is the sword tied to Susanoo. It originally was Murakumo, and then it became the Kusanagi sword. But this tank is almost used up. It has very little juice in it. So, like I said, the amount that's in the tanks, it might actually have to do with how much they have left to create, because apparently there's a limit. Even if Izanagi is like an all-powerful like creation god, I guess there's only so much of his juice that exists left. Also, like, what the fuck happened to Izanagi? Like, does he still exist, or did he just like... Does he not exist anymore because he split up his power? That's what I want to know. Like, what the fuck happened to him? This one here might be Tsukuyomi's. It's possible, now the Tsukuyomi unit that does exist that serves as the Prime Minister, he's probably been serving... He didn't originally He wasn't originally meant to be the prime minister. He was originally just meant to be in logistics, and then the Amaterasu unit was supposed to be in command, but of course that she got just backed out of existence because of Tao. So the Tsukuyomi unit became the prime minister. Now he's probably been around for quite a while. They don't need to mess. Actually, they did mention they can make they did have multiple Tsukuyomis, but you don't see multiple Tsukuyomis around. Maybe they used to have multiples of them, but obviously they're not going to need as many Tsukuyomis around as they need Aogami units for, like, combat, because the Tsukuyomi units were not made for combat. They were just made for people matters, logistics, that kind of thing. So, like with the other tanks, I'm going to assume this one is not completely used up because they could probably still make like another Tsukuyomi. Possibly. Now, can we put Bino in the tank? I'm kind of curious. I may have to use the camera, the Unreal Console camera, to view some things because not everything has colliders. Especially this area here, which I examined before in a cut content video. This area is interesting, and it makes me think that where this location is not in Tokyo. It might actually be... I'm going to assume maybe it's accessible via the diet building that's in Dot, just because of this area here. Obviously, this seems like it's deep underground, wherever they have this. And of course, they mentioned before, this whole project here, and the information about the ProtoFiends, when you do the quest with Dr. Nita and Mephisto, you find out that, you know, the information about the ProtoFiends and how they're made is being safeguarded. So it makes sense that they'd have this place way underground and probably not even Tokyo. It's probably somewhere deep underground, like tied to the diet building and Dot, given the way this area looks. You have this long bridge. You don't even get to see this bridge. You can see this here from a cutscene when Aogami is walking off during the maintenance cutscene. You don't really get to see this thing, though. It does not have collisions, so if I tried to walk up there, I would fall through, but I'm going to use the camera to take a better look at it. Can we go into the pool? This probably has no... Oh, I can actually go into it. Oh, it's not even that big. I kind of expected this to be very deep. Huh. Look at that. Well, Bino's in the pool now. I could jump out. Yeah, so it's not a very big pool. I kept thinking it would be deeper. So it'd be easy for someone to just put a body in there and then easily climb out, like Aogami does. Okay, that is surprising. Why do they put... You never get a chance to actually walk around in here and explore it. Why would they put... Maybe, metal sounds were just automatically, like, to anything. It could be just a thing that was applied to, if this was reused in another environment where you're actually exploring around. Maybe just this automatically got applied to, these type of objects. Because it's surprising to hear there's even sound tied to this when I step on it. Wow. It's funny being in here because it looks like an area that would be in like, gives me like Shinra lab vibes from Final Fantasy VII. And this stuff looks like Mako. It's like they're trying to make soldiers in here. Could we get in the tank? That's too high up. Okay, so I've got a hold of the camera here. Let's check out this area here. Almost reminds me of a place in like Dark Souls. Somewhere deep underground. Yeah, my thinking is that it is part of the diet building and dot, just because of the diet building having that sort of like concrete, like rocky appearance. And then there's like a doorway. Of course, this isn't going to go anywhere. But yeah, the texturing of this reminds me of the diet building that's in dot. Would have been nice if you could actually go here and just like talk to somebody in here and walk around. But you only get to see it in cutscenes. So I thought I might as well view the cutscene in relation to the experiment room. This is labeled in the files, in the map files. This is labeled bio experiment room. In the event files when you use the debug menu. But you can use the Unreal Engine 4 console tool if you can get it to work, because it definitely does not like to work a lot. But you can use the tool to pause cutscenes and move the camera around so that you can view what's going on as the cutscene is happening. So I'm gonna let it play a little bit. I'm gonna look in here, see if is there anything in here. There's nothing in here just yet, but I kind of want to view what's going on here as Aogami's maintenance is proceeding. Let me unpause here. Pause that just again. For some reason, the pool. Now the sound will play even if I pause the cutscene, so the sound is not going to be in sync with the cutscene since I keep pausing it. I'm actually wondering where, because Koshimizu shows up in this cutscene, so now I'm actually wondering where he appears. Since it doesn't seem like there's anywhere he's standing. Because usually, like, it's Aogami walking here, so I'm wondering where, maybe he's standing on top of one of these things. Okay, let me let the cutscene continue.
Commence.
Okay. Oh, there he is. Oh, he's just, okay, he's standing right here. Watching it. I didn't even know he's like standing down here. I know he was present, but... Okay. So it is draining? Interesting. So it's actually draining liquid. This is what I was going over. Now I can see it happening in action. It is draining liquid from this one specifically. So this one might be, like I said, the one for the Aogami units. This might be the one related to Kusanagi. And then some Amaterasus, and this is Tsukuyomi's. So it's draining liquid from this one. Okay. See, actually, does the body show up in there? It'll probably pop in. It's a cutscene, so of course stuff's not gonna show up exactly like it would, like in game. So it's draining. Yeah, so they don't have a lot left, do they?
Compiling data on the ProtoFiend.
So they just drained liquid from that container there, and it filled up this pool here. Let's see, do we have an Aogami body in there yet? We do not. Oh, here we go. So it's interesting to view this cutscene like this because I can get an idea of how this system operates with the maintenance of the ProtoFiends. So it drained from this container, goes into this pool. I don't know what these are. Maybe it's like refining the liquid? Or extracting liquids from the pool?
Previously undiscovered data located. Analyzing.
Oh, you know what? It's probably, as they have Aogami in this pool, they're probably extracting liquid from it here, and then the system analyzes the liquid. I guess it's some weird system they use to get data from ProtoFiends.
Analysis complete. Looks like we are picking up traces of our target.
The corrupted areas have also been properly restored. Rebooting Aogami.
Oh, there's an Aogami. Okay, hold on. I gotta pause this. Let's take a look at the body in here. Yeah, it's not a very, I kept thinking this was deep. It actually, wow, okay, never mind. It's a very, very large pool. I didn't realize how big it was. He's very small compared to this extremely large pool. Actually, let me see. I kind of want to watch him climb out from this angle. Let me see. He's standing on nothing. Okay. It makes it seem like it's not as deep when he's climbing out of it like this. Yeah, they even added a little bit of liquid effects when he gets out of the pool. That's pretty cool. Just watch him here.
The blasphemous might of the Nahobino.
Okay, I want to know where the fuck is Koshimizu? Because he's viewing, where are you viewing Aogami from, Koshimizu? Because it makes it seem like it's on top of somewhere. Where could he be? Yeah, it made it seem like it was atop here, but there's the gates like here. Maybe it's from behind? Hold on. Strange. It's also possible that there's a window somewhere that I didn't know about that he's viewing Aogami from? Yeah, I don't see his body anywhere. We'll find out in a minute. Let me take a look at Aogami here.
I don't know where this power came from, but I trust you'll come to our aid, brother.
So he's looking in this direction. Where is Koshimizu at? But his model has not popped in yet. Yeah, I don't know where he's supposed to be. Somewhere in this direction. Do not see. Oh, there you are. Okay, I found him. He's not standing where he should be. Oh, that's strange. I guess he was just standing up here the whole time. But that doesn't make any sense because Aogami's like looking in this direction. That's very strange. I guess location-wise that makes no fucking sense, but okay. And there you go. That's, there's that cutscene. Interesting to be able to view it from different camera angles. I might try and do this with other cutscenes too, but for now I just want to view that one specifically. Okay, so I'm not sure if there's a point to examining this scene. This is the scene when the Prime Minister, you know, Tsukuyomi, Koshimizu, combines with the protagonist to become the new Nahobino form. Now, the funny thing about this scene, let me see if I can enable the camera here. is we do see this in the trailers, and you know, it's kind of a hint that these two are going to fuse or become the new form in this area. The only thing is I think people were misled into thinking that he would actually utilize the pool in here, the containers, when nothing is shown. Like, he's just here using this area as a place to basically lore dump about the Tsukuyomi units, which he is a Tsukuyomi unit. I guess it made it the best place for him to talk about it and reveal, oh, by the way, I am one of those units, and I was modified so that you can fuse with me to become the new Nahobino form. But, you know, he doesn't really make use of this area at all. He's just here to tell you that and become the new Nahobino. It also, maybe, it's possible because of where this is located, and I brought this up when I was examining the other cutscene too, because the information about the ProtoFiends and how they're made seems to be kept a secret. It's possible this place is like way underground, hidden somewhere where not a lot of people can access, only like Tsukuyomi and whoever else he trusts to come in here to access the stuff that creates the ProtoFiends, this system here. That may have been why he went down here, is because of how secretive this place is. So he probably figured this would be the best place to tell you the information about him being the Tsukuyomi unit, and also using it as a place to fuse so that people can't see. You know, he would probably want to hide the fact that the protagonist was fused with you as a Nahobino, because he just lost a partner. He lost Yuzuru due to the fact that they were trying to combine into a Nahobino, and then the protagonist gets spared by Abdiel and Dazai because they figured, oh, well, Aogami's not around anymore, so you're not going to become a Nahobino. Well, that definitely was not the case. So I'm going to let this scene play out here. We usually only see this from behind, I think. There's different angles here, but I will pause it occasionally. So I'll let this, let me see if I can let this play from this angle here.
We can't entrust this world to Bethel.
Oh yeah, I haven't heard this scene in English.
And we can't let the Kadishtu run free either. That's why I need you, since you've fought as a Nahobino before.
I just realized Tsukuyomi compared to his brother is like quite small.
Susanoo, a proto-fiend created by Bethel, Japan. He was meant to inherit the Amatsukami's full power.
I wanted to pause this because normally he would, I think in the creation route, I don't know if he does this in like the other part of the lab, but in the creation route, it's just sort of like dropped on you. And not even like a very important conversation that Aogami is Susanoo. In this scene here, however, this is a really good scene to reveal that information to you compared to like when he's just up there as usual when you're talking to him in the creation route. Where he's just like, oh, by the way, my brother is Susanoo, and I use my body to make my brother. I use my body as a template to make him. This is a much better scene, I feel, to reveal that information. We continue here.
And no Aogami-type units are left at the Japan branch. However, there is one of the same family, the Tsukuyomi type, which specializes in domestic affairs and guiding the Japanese government. While we analyzed Aogami, we replicated the system for becoming a Nahobino and outfitted it for the Tsukuyomi type. What I mean is, fusion with this proto-fiend should be possible.
Okay, so I'm fusing it here, and unfortunately the sound is going to play, even if I pause the cutscene. Or maybe the music does, thankfully, but he mentions a system. I guess this would be a good opportunity to just discuss this since I'm viewing this cutscene. He mentions a system for becoming the Nahobino. From what I assume, and just from what is known in the game, Lucifer is the one that tampered with the Aogami unit that you fuse with, and probably reprogrammed that Aogami so that he had the data to know what was required to fuse with you to become a Nahobino. So I assume that's what Tsukuyomi acquired from Aogami. When they did the maintenance on him in this pool, they did mention that they extracted the data. Like, they scanned him and restored the areas that were tampered with. So whatever data that they got from him, I believe Tsukuyomi used that to know what was required for becoming a Nahobino so that he could fuse with you.
If you're willing, I would ask you fuse with the Tsukuyomi type. I would ask you to take up this fight once more. Thank you. In order to lead well in times of crisis, Tsukuyomi maintained a human appearance while managing domestic affairs here in Japan. It was necessary to serve the nation.
This is actually, I probably brought this up when I was doing this on stream too, but this is it's kind of funny hearing him manage this and talk about himself and not like directly, because if you played the creation route, if you played the original game, you would know he's actually Tsukuyomi. So like him talking about himself like this as if you don't know is kind of funny. Now if you're playing the game for the first time and you play the Vengeance route, you wouldn't know that he was Tsukuyomi. Well, actually, no. It does get hinted because the user actually reveals that that he's the knowledge of an Amatsukami. So I guess this wouldn't be the first time you would know. You would have a hint that he was that Koshimizu was a Japanese god, one of the Amatsukami.
The Tsukuyomi type is at present managing the country. In fact, serving as Prime Minister. Yes, I am that Tsukuyomi type.
He's so proud.
Young man, let us fight together.
So yeah, this would be where you get the prompt. I would have to... Hold on. I'll just do the nod here. Okay, I didn't actually get to... Is there... No, this is a cutscene, so I can't actually pause this and look around it. Because this is a... Yeah, this is a cutscene. Now, some of the cutscenes happen in engine, so that you're able to actually view them, but this is just as a cutscene. It's just a video file. Just pausing this here. This is the next scene. Gonna mess around with the camera while this scene is going on. This is when you fuse. Okay, can't see shit, so... Let me go back here. Okay, it acts like... Did he actually make use of the, Here, I'm gonna do something. Where's this? Get closer here. From the way it showed him fusing above the pool, it almost made me think that he utilized the stuff in it. So maybe I don't know if he did. I was saying it didn't seem like he made use of the system here at all. They just fused without making use of it.
Now then, young man, forward.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I guess there wasn't. It gave me an opportunity to talk about this a little bit. I don't think there was a point to actually examining this area while this cutscene was going on, because there's nothing new really. But I thought it'd be good to just throw that in with while I was examining. Let's see how far. It probably only showed them going. Yeah, it just stops there. Okay, that's all I want to do for this video here. Just wanted to examine and talk about this. The thing with the debug is that, like I said, it crashes a lot. So I may have to, like, either I can like put a bunch of different examination of maps together, or just gradually do analysis of different maps that I come across via the debug, and try and use the Unreal Console to view them and just to like talk about them individually as I check these things out, because it does crash a lot and it does soft lock a lot, so the process takes a while. So I hope you enjoyed this mini examination of the maps in SMT5 and some ProtoFiend talk.